Venezuela creation myth, Wanadi the Creator, by Azaria Boyd. The Yakuhana. Wanadi the Creator is a myth of the Yakuhana people. Yakuhana means wood or log water people. Spanish conquistadors gave them the Macutari name when they found them in 1759. They considered themselves to be true descendants of Wanadi. The Yakuhana people live in Venezuela, South America. They can obtain the power to overcome evil. Wanadi the Creator influenced them to convert to Christianity. The culture. The Yakuhana Indians speak the Carib language, which is a Caribbean language. This Carib language is endangered, and the people who speak it in Venezuela are now shifting to the Spanish language. The Yakuhana Indians have an advanced culture. They are very intelligent, especially when it comes to their crafts. The culture is commonly known for the bongos they create from trees. Not only this, but they also weave special baskets which honor each stage of their life. Due to their hunting skills, flourishing crops, and ability to live off the land, they have a strong connection with themselves and nature, specifically the earth. Watuna. The Watuna is an epic history and creation story of the Yakuhana people. It was a sacred text that was recited by shamans. Shamans were as important as a chief of a tribe. It was also a secretive or secular text, which does not have to do with religion. It was told by families, and it had tales of how to live. The beginning. Sky was the only place, and there was always light. It was a good place to live. There was happiness. No death, evil, war, animals, or work. Just food and life. The people were wise and good. Wirki were small quartz crystals that were power stones of the shamans. Wanandi wanted Earth to be just like sky, so he blew on some Wirki and created Wanandi One, or Wanandi the Wise. Wanandi One was created by Wanadi the Creator to be the master of Earth. When Wanandi One was sent to Earth and born, he cut his navel cord and buried it in the earth. The navel cord rotted and gave birth to Odosha, who was ugly and the master of all evil. One day, Wanandi One was dreaming and smoking on his tobacco. He dreamed he created the first Earth people. These people had strength and knowledge. Odosha became jealous and hated Wanandi One. He wanted to become the master of Earth. Odosha would whisper wicked things to the Earth people. This caused them to kill a fisherman. Wanandi One punished the people by turning them into animals. Wanandi the Wise then left Earth for Sky because he realized that Odosha had great powers. Wanandi 2. When Wanandi 1 returned to Sky, Wanandi the Creator created Wanandi 2 because he still wanted good people to live on Earth. Wanandi 2 did not want Odosha to make the new people sick so they would die. He had to prove that death was not real. He did this by dreaming of his mother being born and dying. When he did this, he realized that death was a figure of his imagination. His mother became the symbol of his wisdom and power. The Huhana. Wanandi 2 brought the Huhana from Sky. The Huhana was a large hollow egg with a thick shell. It held the unborn happy people. Wanandi 2 did not want to free the people because he knew Odosha would kill them. But because he knew the secret to death, he thought he could just restore them. One day, Wanandi 2 leaves to go hunting. He buried his mother and told a parrot to watch over her and to scream when she began to move. He also told his nephew Arakaru to watch over the Huhana and not to let Odosha get to it. Wanandi 2 has a medicine bag called the Chakara. It holds his power, magic, Wirki, and the darkness of night. Wanandi 2 has always told his nephew to never open the bag because the darkness will escape and cover the earth. Because Odosha believed he had more power than Wanandi 2, he tricked Arakaru into believing he was dreaming, and he heard the words of his uncle telling him to open the Chakara. This caused him to open the Chakara, and allowed the darkness to escape. The Huhana continued. With the darkness now covering the light, Odosha believes he is the master of earth. He created a dwarf to watch over the grave of 192's mother and to tell him when she came alive. He then commanded a lizard to take a gourd of his urine to throw it on the woman, which would destroy her body when she came alive. When the woman came alive, the parrot screamed for 192, but he was too late. Odosha's lizard threw Odosha's urine on the woman, which covered her body and scorched it and ate it into her bones. After the lizard returned to Odosha, Odosha wanted to kill all the unborn people. So he went to break the Huhana, but he was not successful. He tried everything, but it did not crack. This caused him and the lizard to leave it alone. 192 was finally returning to the Huhana in his mother's grave. When he was running to them, he realized Earth was covered in darkness. He knew Arakaru disobeyed him and opened his chakra. When he arrived at his mother's grave, he saw no body. All that was left were her ashes. He could not restore her. 192 punished his nephew Arakaru by turning him into a white monkey. This then caused Arakaru to become the grandfather of white monkeys. Lastly, 192 hid the Huhana at Mount Warma, so Odosha could not get to it. He left it here so the Huhana could be found and opened when Earth became a good place. 192 realized Odosha had more power than he did, and the Earth wasn't his, but Odosha's. 192 returned to Sky with his mother's bones. He threw the bones into Lake Akayanu, which was the lake of everlasting, and it restored the dead to life. 193. Wanadi still wanted good people on Earth, so he blew on some Wirki and created 193, who was known as House Wanadi. When 193 went to the Earth, it was still dark. It was dangerous, and the people lived in fear due to Odosha. The people transformed into animals by 191 were killed by Odosha. Sky Wandi created the sun, moon, and stars, so the earth could shine even in darkness. The old earth people were given the bodies of animals and could change into human form whenever they wanted. The old earth people complained to 193 about fear, hunger, and death. As time passed, 193 saw Arakaru, and he told him how he caused suffering on earth due to him opening the chakra. So 193 punished Arakaru again, and the generations after him to be thin and suffer. 193 wanted to make Earth a good place again, so he went to Sky in search for food. 193 went to Sky and found the Yuka mistress, who was the good food keeper. The Yuka mistress sent her messenger to Earth with food for the old Earth people. Odosha saw the people were eating, and he became upset. Odosha dressed like House Wandi and started to whisper wicked things to the old Earth people. The old Earth people started to behave horribly, and 193 punished them by making them sick and not giving them any food, which caused them to die. 193 realized he had to make new Earth people who did not live like animals, so he went to Mount Wana and built the first house. This caused Odosha to become upset and build a house of his own, right in front of 193's house. Odosha's evil doing in house caused House Wandi to become furious. So instead of retaliating, House Wandi smoked his tobacco and dreamed of creating the first human beings. Not too long after, the first human beings were created, 12 men. 193 gave the men strength, knowledge, and wisdom. House Wanadi smoked more of his tobacco and dreamed of his people having food. However, the food did not appear. The food did not appear because Odosha was dreaming of evil dreams. Odosha's dreams included hunger, death, and sickness. House Wandi became furious with Odosha and his evil dreams. Instead of putting up with Odosha, House Wanadi went to his men and told them they would move to a place where Odosha could not bother them. 193 continued. 193 took his men to Mount Wana. On Mount Wana there lives Wade. Wade is 193's friend and teacher, and one of the best shamans. And it came to be that Wade allowed the men to live with him. 193 built the men a house to live in. This is where the men created their first garden. The men cleared the land, planted their crops, and took care of their garden. One day 193 left the men to go hunting. While he was hunting, a jaguar chased him and wanted to kill him. But luckily 193 was able to escape. When he returned to Wade's cave, Wade told him that Adosha is a trickster and has the power to disguise in any form he wants, so House Wanadi must be careful. When House Wanadi went hunting again, he dressed as a dirty old hunter. While he was in the forest, he came across Adosha, who was looking for House Wandi. House Wandi was disguised as a dirty hunter, and he tricked Adosha into thinking that he did not know who House Wandi was. This plan was successful, and Adosha went on his way. Whenever 193 went out, he would disguise himself as this dirty hunter. One day, while 193 was wandering the earth, he sat and smoked his tobacco and dreamed. He dreamed of creating new houses and new people. When he looked up, the new houses and people came into being. As more time went on, Adosha continued to look for 193, but he was not victorious. While House Wandi was wandering the earth, he thought about the old earth people and his people. House Wanadi did not want his people to live like the old earth people, so he went to seek the food master. The food master would teach his people how to survive and prosper on earth. When 193 went to Sky to ask the food master about teaching his people, the food master sent his spirit messenger to earth. The spirit messenger was the chief of birds. The chief of birds taught the people how to garden and live like brothers. Soon it was time for the chief of birds to leave and go back to Sky. After a while, the old earth people died and the spirits of the dead returned to Sky. During this time, House Wanandi thought about the day he would soon leave the earth to return to Sky. With these thoughts came another. He would have to create 2 human beings that would take his place. So House Wanandi sat, smoked his tobacco, and dreamed of creating the first grandfather and grandmother. These grandfather and grandmother both have strength, knowledge, and wisdom. They would teach their children the way of earth and care for them. Before long, it was time for 193 to return to Sky. However, before he left, he feasted with the grandparents. He also spoke to them about the future of Earth, their tasks, and their futures. When 193 went to speak to his 12 men he created, he sent them to live in his new house, House of Kuchi, on Mount Kuchamarki. This house is not seen by anyone except shamans due to their great powers. The end. Not really. House Wanandi left his men and started his journey to Sky. He sang and danced, and Adosha was there watching him. He then made his way towards the river. However, as Adosha watched House Wanandi, he had the urge to kill him, so he chased House Wanandi. But House Wanandi was too quick. He jumped in his canoe and paddled away, but Adosha jumped in his own canoe and chased House Wanandi. Adosha tried his best to get to 193 before he returned to Sky, but 193 tricked Adosha again. 193 made the last of his people butterflies and told them to tell Adosha that he went back to Sky. So when Adosha asked the butterflies about 193, they told him he returned to Sky by cutting his stomach out. So Adosha did the same, thinking he would go to Sky as well. But he did not. Although Adosha was tricked by 193, he is still searching for him. Before returning to Sky, 193 created clear water for Earth. Then 193 left Earth and returned to Sky, living in peace. The Earth was still evil due to Adosha being the master of Earth. But one day, Adosha will die, and the evil will disappear with him. Then the 4th form of Wanadi, the Creator, will come to Earth and make everything better. He will break open the Huhana, and the Earth will be a good place again.